What would you do if you had to choose between your own dream and a family legacy that was bleeding to death? In 1995, Caleb Murrier had his future planned. A degree in painting from a prestigious university, a life in the art world. His family's farm, Philip Murrier Farms, was a piece of American history. Founded in 1914 by the U.S. Secretary of the Treasury. For nearly a century, it was a symbol of pride. But history doesn't pay the bills. And by 1998, it was a whisper away from extinction. The farm was floundering financially. The longtime manager had just retired, and a make-or-break moment had arrived. The choice was brutal. Sell the land to developers and erase 100 years of history, or fight. But who would fight for it? Caleb, the city-raised painter, had no agricultural training, no business experience. He just had love for a place that was dying. With his father's blessing, he made a decision that would change his life forever. He stepped in, driven by what he called a duty to preserve the land. He put down his paintbrush and picked up a shovel. The moment he took over, he saw a statistic that lit a fire in him. Every 3 days, a farm in New York was sold to developers. This wasn't just about his family. It was a race against time. The learning curve was a vertical cliff. The margin for error was zero. He threw himself into the work, a part biologist, part CEO, trying to learn in months what others take a lifetime to master. He transformed the business. He embraced sustainable farming and cultivated over 80 varieties of apples. He leaned into a simple, desperate idea his father had tried in the 80s after a hailstorm ruined their crop: letting people pick their own fruit. He cut out the middleman, and it worked. The struggling farm became a multi-million-dollar fall festival, a destination. From a yearly revenue of just $350,000 in 2002 to over $4 million in 2004. It's the perfect success story, right? The artist who became a farmer and saved his family's legacy. But that's not the truth. The truth is, the entire empire is built on a knife's edge. In 2005, it rained, and it didn't stop. Almost every single weekend during their peak season. The 2 months that generate 50% of their entire year's income was a complete washout. Just as he started to find his footing, disaster struck. The loss wasn't just revenue, it was momentum. The farm brings in half its yearly income in just 12 to 15 days, almost all of them weekends in September and October. Every hour of rain wasn't just money lost. It was a mortgage payment missed, a staff member's salary jeopardized. Caleb had built this empire by cutting out the middleman. But that strategy, the source of their success, was now their single point of catastrophic failure. The banks don't care about family legacy. They only care about the balance sheet. He confessed later, "I was very concerned that we weren't going to be able to weather another season like that and stay in business." Think about that. 17 years of relentless work, the choice to abandon his art, the duty to his ancestors, all of it reduced to a coin flip based on the forecast. But in that despair, a clarity emerged. You cannot control the weather. You cannot control the market. But you can control your strategy. Caleb realized the truth. Relying on one source of income, one season, was untenable. He needed to buy insulation against the rain. He needed to make the farm uncancelable. This wasn't just about saving the farm. It was about saving the entire concept of the farm. He had to pivot from being a weekend carnival to an all-season machine. And that's when the planting began. Not just apples, but an entirely new foundation. One that would finally guarantee the farm's survival. But as Caleb fought to diversify, taking out new loans to plant strawberries and Christmas trees, a new kind of risk appeared. One he hadn't planned for. An investor. Not a developer looking for housing, but a venture capitalist looking for legacy. They saw the $4 million revenue. They saw the 100,000 yearly visitors. But most importantly, they saw the untapped potential of a thriving agritourism brand. The offer that landed on Caleb's desk was mouth-watering. A colossal capital investment that would wipe out every bit of debt, guarantee the expansion into the year-round business, and ensure the farm's future for the next 50 years. It was the financial security the farm had never had. This wasn't pity. This was the market finally recognizing that 17 years of passion, sacrifice, and soil-stained genius was a commodity worth more than any quick-flip housing development. The struggling artist who traded his paintbrush for a hoe didn't just save a farm. He proved that true value rooted in land, tradition, and purpose, will always find a way to generate wealth. It wasn't easy. It wasn't simple. And it certainly wasn't about the money at the start. But in the end, the discipline, the sacrifice, and the love for the land made it all worth it. The money followed the meaning. So, what are you pouring your love into today? Remember, when you build something with passion and purpose, the market always catches up. What you create for love will always pay you back. Please subscribe for more inspiring stories like this.